Firstly, like last time we spoke about a couple years ago, this was right before Angry Birds was about to drop and your hair level was about to drop. So firstly, can we get an update? How's it feel to be an Oscar-winning, award-winning director, man?
It's crazy, bro. Like, I know sometimes people, feel like, I don't know, it's interesting, man, because I feel like, on for certain people, I do think that, especially like if you're an actor, because like a lot of times, like, unless you're like an actor that produces your own work and is really involved in the producer side, I think a lot of times you're just kind of at the mercy of the industry when it comes to kind of what roles are coming your way. But let me tell you, man, being a filmmaker, like something like that happening to you, it definitely makes a difference. Like, it's like night and day, honestly. Like, getting considered for things that you always want to be considered for, and getting things that are offered to you when before you had to like fight to get into the room. So definitely has been a life-changing event for sure.
So we always talk and stuff like that, but we're just so extremely proud of you from the beginning, just seeing how far it's come. So today we're here talking about you directed the first two episodes of this special presentation, and I want to first ask you, how did the idea to incorporate animation come about, and what was the process like for that?
Yeah, man, in television, man, a lot of the decisions are kind of made before I get involved. And, I think when the COVID thing, really hit, the cool thing about Blackish is that they always have animation, a little bit in their episodes, like typically not the whole episode, but just, little bumps at the front. And I think the idea really was born out of that, like, not really knowing what the COVID situation was going to be like, if we could get back to work regularly. And I think the idea really was kind of born in that, like, this is a way we could potentially still get a message out there and not have to worry about, the safety of, getting crews together and
Right.
having to get together and shoot live in person. And it was cool because it was a little bit of both. We shot a little live stuff, but then we also did a majority of a live action episode, kind of in the comfort of our own home too. So that was really cool.
And this episode in particular, they're both focusing on markets trying to register and trying to vote. And so in your own words, I know this episode is important, stressing the importance of voting, but in your own words, can you talk about the importance of voting, especially for young Black women and men?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I know there's a lot of attention, on the presidential election, and, rightfully so, but, there are a lot of issues just even locally that, affect all our communities. I mean, when you look at a situation like the Breonna Taylor case, I mean, like, the attorney general that was put into place is an elected official, that was put into place, through voting. And so, I think a situation like that just really highlights, like, I think the control and the power that the people have when it comes to the people that are going to ultimately be making decisions on like high profile cases like that, and also low profile things that you may not even be thinking about, but that may affect you long term. And so, I think I'm not the type of person that's going to, say that, you got to vote, vote or die and all this other stuff. I think it's definitely important. But, I do think that there's a large swath of people that, have their reasons and rightfully so, and, and rightfully kind of feel jaded. And I think there are a lot of systems that have been put in place, especially when you talk about voter suppression. You can't talk about you have to vote without speaking on voter suppression. And, I think until we are able to really start having those type of conversations, it's like you have a whole swath of community that can't vote like how they choose because they have to jump through all these hoops. And that's the thing that I'm really proud about this episode, is that it really shines a light, I think, on those issues.
And with this episode, we had some special guests. We had Stacey Evans and we had Desus and Mero. So can you talk about working with them?
Oh man, it was great, man. I mean, Stacey and Desus and Mero, they, essentially they were playing themselves, so it was a lot easier to kind of get them into the flow of things. I think they both were either shooting at their home or at the office too, so definitely more comfortable, and it was great. Especially with Stacey Abrams, because in that episode, we're kind of taking people through the process of what it's like if somebody ends up trying to run for office and doing it with the best of intentions, but then they kind of are lured by the temptation of big money and all that. And, I think Stacey really, is in this episode, is able to really speak to the pros and the cons of that. And also able to kind of make a direct plea to people about why it is important to vote. And also, not only in your presidential election, but also in the local elections as well.
Absolutely. And the last question, of course, I can't leave without talking about Hair Love. So can we get an update on where the TV series is at and anything, any news you can give us on that? Because we're excited for that as well.
Yeah, man, real early in the process, working on the pilot now, and the room will get started in a couple of months, and looking forward to the show being out in 2022.
Hell yeah. So I want to say thank you again, Matthew, for giving us a little bit of your time. We absolutely love seeing everything, all the work that you're doing. Is there anything else you want to leave our viewers and our audience with before we wrap up, sir?
Nah, man, just always appreciate the support, man. Y'all always show love, and it's important to support your local outlets, man, because they're the ones that always got the ear to the streets, and they're going to give you the news and the info, live as you want to hear it.
Yes, sir. And I got a voter's hat. I would have worn it, but I can't. It can't get it all over the hair. But thank you again. Make sure to go vote, guys. Listen to Matthew because it really is important to vote. So I want to say thank you, Matthew, for giving me a little bit of your time, and we can't wait to see what you do next, sir.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you.